from one of my favorite revival testimonies that comes from the Hebrides Island Revival in 1952. By the way, that is a set of islands right off of Scotland. Two desperate women, Peggy and Christina Smith, 84 and 82 years old, were desperate for revival in their island, the Hebrides off of Scotland. They'd had actually historic revival previously. They knew how to pray the Bible, and they were reminding God of his word out of Isaiah chapter 44, verse 3. For I will pour out water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. I will pour out my spirit on your offspring and my blessing on your descendants. And so Peggy and Christina Smith would pray the promises of God every day for their island nation to have an open heaven and a revival. They reminded God of his word, and they began to claim another open heaven verse, Isaiah chapter 64, verse 1. Oh, that thou, and then again they would pray like out of the King James Bible. Oh, that thou wouldest rend the heavens and come down, that the mountains might quake at your presence. By the way, I don't want to offend anybody, but this is a fact, so don't be offended by a historical fact. These two women are the great aunts of President Donald J. Trump. And he has the Bible in his Oval Office from these two women of this revival. Did you know that? I know that. They reminded God of his word out of Isaiah 64:1. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and you would come down. The older sister was blind, partially blind, and she received a vision. I love it. And proclaimed, he's coming, he's coming, he is already here. And the Spirit of God at the same time frame fell in a barn in the winter season. That night, where 7 young men were praying from Isaiah chapter 62, verses 6 and 7, where it says, on your walls, O Jerusalem, I have appointed watchmen all day and all night, that will never keep silent, who remind the Lord to give him no rest and give themselves no rest until he establishes and makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So while Peggy and Christine are praying Isaiah 64:1, oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down, and this oldest sister that is partially or near blind has a vision and says, he's coming, he's coming, he's almost here. At the same time, this little band of teenage young guys are praying out of Isaiah 62 in a barn, and they actually had hay stacked up around themselves because it was cold in the barn. And they are praying out of Isaiah 62. Well, guess where the Spirit fell? On the young guys in the barn. Sure enough, God came. And it was joining of generations to such an extent that then one of the sisters said, we better hire a preacher. So they actually were members of, I believe it was a Presbyterian church. So they went to go get someone. So they hired an unemployed man named Duncan Campbell. I actually have, I wish I could step over here right now and take it off my shelf. I've got the revival in the Scottish Hebrides. I got the messages of Duncan Campbell right over here on my shelf. And the fire on the altar by Duncan Campbell. I've got it right here. Oh, thank you. Look at this, guys. I have these messages. You know, do you think this stuff is on the inside of me? Well, it can be on the inside of you. Because the fire is supposed to be kept burning continually on the altar and it's never go out. This is the altar. And those two old women knew the word and they prayed the word. And a group of young guys, I don't remember how many it was, it might have been 7, and they were praying in a barn out of Isaiah. God hears the joining of the generations in agreement and the Holy Spirit falls. They hire an unemployed man to become the preacher, and he's the one historically that became known as the breaker of the Hebrides Island Revival, where there becomes a radiation zone 5 miles in diameter that people would just walk into that zone and come under experiential conviction of sin. Yeah, that's revival breakthrough.